Imagine walking through life with an invisible backpack strapped to your shoulders. Every time you hold on to a useless thought, nurture unresolved anger, or cling to unnecessary possessions, another stone is dropped inside. At first, these stones feel light, almost insignificant. But as the years go by, the weight grows heavier. Your steps slow, your mind becomes clouded, and your energy fades. You start feeling exhausted, frustrated, and strangely trapped, though you cannot explain why. Now, what if I told you there is a way to release this weight quietly, without noise, without justification, without dramatic gestures? That is precisely what the Stoics taught centuries ago, the art of silently letting go of what weighs you down. Today, you will discover 7 invisible burdens which, once released, will open the door to a life that is lighter, clearer, and freer. But can we truly transform our lives just by letting go of what harms us? And what if the things we consider indispensable are, in truth, the very chains that hold us back? The Stoic answer was always the same: yes, because true freedom is not defined by what we keep, but by what we release. What you see as essential may be exactly what robs you of peace. When you dare to let go, you realize you never needed those chains to walk forward. From this moment on, imagine each burden as a stone being removed from that heavy backpack. With each release, you will breathe more freely, think more clearly, and act with greater strength. This is not a surface-level change, but a silent revolution that reshapes your inner world. By the time you reach the end of this reflection, you will no longer be the same person who began reading. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. That small action may help someone else discover a message that could change their life. The first burden is the mental noise of the what ifs. What if I fail? What if it all goes wrong? What if I'm not ready? These endless scenarios build castles in the air, illusions that drain your strength. While you live trapped in imagined futures, the present, the only moment you can actually influence, slips away. The Stoics warned that worrying about tomorrow does nothing but steal today's clarity. Freedom begins when you cut off that noise and anchor yourself in the present moment. Each time you catch your mind drifting into what-ifs, pause and ask, can I act on this right now? If the answer is no, then let it go. That is not irresponsibility, it is wisdom. The second burden is comparison with others. Few things are more poisonous than measuring your life with someone else's ruler. There will always be someone richer, more talented, seemingly more successful. But what you see is only the surface. You do not know their hidden battles or the cost of their achievements. Comparison blinds you to your own progress. The Stoics taught that your only competition is with yourself, to be a little wiser, a little braver, a little better than you were yesterday. When you release comparison, you release envy and resentment too. What remains is the calm satisfaction of walking your own road at your own pace. Progress is not a race against others. It is a lifelong journey within yourself. The third burden is attachment to material things. Modern society repeats the same message endlessly. Happiness comes when you own more. More possessions, more upgrades, more status. But material goods are fragile. A house can burn down, a car can be stolen, money can disappear overnight. If your joy depends on what you own, then your peace will collapse every time fortune changes. Stoic wisdom invites us to embrace simplicity, to live with what is enough, not what is endless. Detachment does not mean refusing possessions. It means refusing to be possessed by them. The person who can be content with little is truly invincible, because nothing can be taken from them that robs their inner peace. The fourth burden is resentment. Holding a grudge is like carrying poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Each time you replay the offense, you return to the scene of the wound and reopen it. The Stoics saw forgiveness not as a gift to the offender, but as a release for yourself. It does not mean forgetting or excusing. It means refusing to let past pain control your present life. Forgiveness is an act of courage because it requires you to put pride aside and choose peace over bitterness. The moment you let go of resentment, the weight falls from your chest, and you are finally free to move forward. The fifth burden is the desire to control everything. How many sleepless nights have been wasted trying to predict or manage the uncontrollable? We plan, we strategize, we prepare, but life has its own course. You cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the twists of fate. The Stoics constantly repeated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." Accepting this truth is not weakness, but strength. It is realizing that fighting the wind is useless, but adjusting your sails is wise. When you let go of the impossible task of controlling everything, you find serenity. You stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable and redirect it to what is always within your power, your choices, your character, your attitude. The sixth burden is procrastination. Delaying what matters feels harmless at first. I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes a week, then a month, then a year. Procrastination is a thief disguised as comfort, robbing you of opportunities while whispering that you still have time. The Stoics valued discipline because they understood the brevity of life. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion. There is only the present. When you take even the smallest step, the fog clears and momentum builds. Each action, no matter how small, is a declaration that you refuse to waste your time. By releasing procrastination, you reclaim the most valuable resource you will ever own, your time." And the seventh burden is the need for external validation. Living for the approval of others is like building your home on quicksand. One day you are applauded, the next you are criticized, and your self-worth rises and falls with the crowd's mood. This dependence is exhausting and fragile. The Stoics knew that true freedom comes from within, from acting with integrity and aligning your actions with your values. When you validate yourself, applause becomes irrelevant. You no longer chase recognition, you embody authenticity. Your worth is not decided by others, but by your own conscience. In that realization lies unshakable strength. These seven invisible burdens, the what-ifs, comparison, material attachment, resentment, desire for control, procrastination, and the hunger for external validation, are silent chains that drain your life. They do not shout, but they weigh you down, step by step. The Stoic path invites you to let them go in silence. Not with drama, not with noise, but with steady courage. One by one, the stones fall from your backpack, and suddenly you realize you can walk faster, breathe deeper, and live lighter. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "From now on, I am a new version. I am Stoic." That will be your first act of real change. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message so others can join this journey. Because in the end, life is not defined by the weight you carry, but by the courage you show in letting go. True Stoic freedom is quiet, steady, and unshakable.